Now the second principle is that Ramadan is a practice. Kutiba. It's also from the same ayah 183. So what do we learn from knowing that it's a practice? In fact, it's an obligation. It's a purification that Allah has given the believers annually. So when we see it in that light, we'll be able to extract principles from it and see what principles can be applied outside of Ramadan and what principles cannot. As a practice, it has a goal. Okay? Now, again, I'm going to say, you might be worried about obesity. You might have a goal. You might say, I need to lose another 20 kilos. That's your goal. It's not Allah's goal. The similarity is that there is a goal, yes. And it is a practice, yes. And why is that important? Because some people teach intuitive eating. You should just check your feelings, always go with your feelings. You'll be okay, you'll eat right if you just trust your feelings. That's not true. We have religion and we have practices and outcomes, and we succeed or fail with those outcomes. If you go through Ramadan and you don't return to your fitrah, you don't become humble, and you can't say Allahu Akbar at the end of Ramadan with fear and trembling, feeling humble, feeling totally in need of Allah and totally submissive and humbled and grateful to Allah. If you can't achieve that, you haven't achieved the goals of Ramadan. So if we're talking about a Ramadan khutbah or something, we would say, great, your goal is that, and inshallah success, and may Allah give you the paradise. But if we're talking about eating science, we just want to observe that Allah has actually used a 30-day period telling you what to do for 30 days to achieve a particular thing. Now, although that's spiritual, it does give us a precedent that we can try to make some plans with our eating or control things. Like we could say, I want to have a 6-month program to reduce my salt intake. Or I want to have a 3-month period where I don't eat much sugar. That's okay, because you're making a practice. Now, it's not a religious practice like this one, Ramadan, but Allah has this 1-month period. So we have a period, and that's instructive for us. Now, there are plenty of diets out there, plenty of programs which have a 30-day period or a 7-day or 6 months or whatever, and that's good to know that Allah has done something like that for us as well. Even if it's special and we can't mimic it, we can't copy it, we can see that it's got a period. Now, in fact, it's not going to be the same, because he said it's an iddah. So what you're working for in Ramadan is actually obedience, as well as everything else. And if you think that's not true, remember Adam and Eve. They ate the wrong food, not because it was bad food. It was good food. In paradise, all the food is good. The problem was obedience. So although we can try to look at Ramadan and take something from it for our eating science, be careful, because what Allah is doing with Ramadan is not what you're doing when you try to lose weight and gain weight and stuff like that. They're really different, so be careful. You can have a goal, like you might want to gain 10 pounds of muscle or 10 kilos of muscle in the next 6 weeks. But don't hold on to it too tightly. You might get better than that. You might get less than that. Or you might achieve your goal but hurt yourself in another way. Harden your heart. Spend your money when you should have kept it and spent it on your kids. When human beings set goals in this world, it doesn't mean that we're actually always pleasing Allah. Be careful and think about why you want to achieve that goal. Basically, the health goals should be to return to fitrah and to do more worship, more good deeds, to be a good slave of Allah. not body image goals, basically. Not body image goals, basically. Strength is a good thing. If you need to gain weight to get strength, then okay, it seems obvious that you would want to gain weight if you need more strength. But you may not need too much strength, depends on your place in life. So Ramadan is a practice. That's our second principle, and it's instructive that it's a practice. But be very careful, because it's a practice written by God, and He knows what He's doing, and it's not just for the body. It may benefit the body, but it's really, really much higher than that. Far higher than that. It's not even close. I'll move on, inshallah. Let's recite the ayah again so that we get to hear the Quran. And then I'll move on. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. صدق الله. لعلكم تتقون. We'll come back to this ayah to hear that, and I hope you know the real meaning of la'alla. It means hopefully, not so that. Because so that implies that it will actually happen for sure. It's just logical. But hopefully means, well, hopefully it'll happen. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Hopefully you'll get taqwa. Just because you fast Ramadan doesn't mean you're going to get taqwa. It's not guaranteed. You have to do it right, and then inshallah you'll get more taqwa. But we're going to come back to that. That's not part of this second principle. It's not part of the first principle, but it is part of the lessons from Ramadan. And now I'll stop there and start another recording, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And if you would be good, say the blessed words at the end of the majlis, kafaratul majlis. You say them over there, okay? I could say them here, but I really want you to say them. What you say is Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. You say glory be to you, O God, and with your praises. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. You say, I swear, I bear witness, that there is no God but you. Turning to God. And then, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Turn to God and do that. Don't just say it, but do that. Ask Him forgiveness, insha'Allah. And turn back to Him. Repent to Him. Because it's very unlikely that you've thought about Ramadan in this detail. It's very unlikely that anybody's told you this stuff. And so, inshallah, it's a blessing for you today. And you can now think about your dieting, think about your eating program, whether you just want to eat better or eat the best you can, as a slave of God, or you want to feed people better, feed your kids better, or maybe you're a practitioner, or you've got a disease, whatever it is. Hopefully this information is going to help you. And so saying the kafaratul majlis words will really give you the best chance to absorb this and to put it into practice. So once again, I say thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.